everyone, today is Thursday, the 12th of December 2019. This is The Gap, episode 497. I'm Luke Lawrie. Joab Gilroy is here, and we're getting close to Star Wars, Joab. Next week.
It's next week. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. It's going to be fucking awesome.
I've been watching doing the rewatch.
Yep.
So I have a question for you.
Go.
So we're watching the films, right? The pivotal films.
I understand the concept of the rewatch, yes.
Yeah. Where do you start? Where would you start?
Oh, easy. 4.
Right.
5.
Yep.
6.
Yep.
7.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then that's it. You'd stop. All right. Let's pretend we've got to watch all of them. Or you've got to watch parts of all of them, or at least you've got to dabble in them.
What? Yeah. Do I have that fucking? Who did the amazing cut? Was it Topher Grace or whatever?
Right. I think
do I have that
cut?
Cuts
for everything.
Can I just have that mad cut where whoever it was cut together the prequels? I was actually discussing this the other on the weekend.
Yeah. Because I've started already, so I'd like your hot take.
Yeah, so they were the people I was talking to, the third person crew actually. They were talking about how they were rewatching the prequel trilogy, I think in preparation as well. And they reckon the prequel trilogy is pretty good. And fuck them. They're straight up wrong. Fuck the prequel trilogy. If I have to watch them, I'm watching 1, 2, 3, so that they're as far from my mind as humanly possible. And if I have to watch all of them, then I guess I just go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or 7, 8, and then go to 9. But I don't really want to watch 8 again, and I don't. I watched 8 3 times, and there's just too much I can't stand in that movie. There's too much. Like, I honest to God believe the casino bit in bad. 8.
It's like a prequel.
The worst part of any Star Wars film. Like, the worst part of, even including all of the prequels.
Because at least
nothing they do is as bad as that casino
the
bit.
pod racing scene in 1 is amazing.
Yeah. And the duel
Yeah.
of the fates, 1 has some awesome bits filled with a lot of garbage. 2's actually a okay movie. It's fine. I would put 2 above. It'd be close to above 7 for me.
Right.
3 I didn't enjoy very much. But it also had some awesome bits.
It's got some good fights.
Some good fights. And the obvious the arc as well comes to a head, which is nice. And then but 8, honest to God, I know this must be because we haven't talked about it, right? Since we watched The Last Jedi. I think we were all pretty. We were like, yeah, I liked it, right? But then we watched it again, and we were still like, yeah, okay, I get what they're trying to do. But yeah, I watched it a couple of months later, and without the hype. When you're watching it without the hype, I really don't like 8. Hey, there's so much I don't like about it. There's bits I really like, and it does some really cool things. But it does some stuff I really don't like. What order are you watching it in?
We started off with Rogue One.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you said the main ones. You didn't say I could fucking watch Rogue One.
The films.
Fucking hell.
Rogue One is a Star Wars story.
So you didn't start with Solo then?
No. So
face.
Here's my theory about Solo. Either you leave it out, or you put it in between, 5 and 6. Is a good spot. I feel like.
What? Why?
Because you go Rogue One first, and then you go 4, 5, and then that's when you go back to the prequels, right? And you do 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And you could even possibly put Solo in that spot.
Yep.
Because
After 3.
yeah,
Yep.
either there or you can put it in after 6. I'm trying to think. Here's my reasoning.
Chronologically, it takes place before 4.
Yeah.
So
It's a weird one to put it in because it's got a lot of. I feel like Rogue One is fine to start off with first because it's like you can watch Rogue One and literally start with the next film and it's like picks straight up after that, right?
yeah.
Whereas Solo is a weird one because it's got stuff in it that sort of calls back to episodes like 1 and like things that have happened before, and so it's a weird one to put in like somewhere.
I think you'd have to go if 1, 2, 3, Solo, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6. If you're not leaping backwards in time.
Yeah. So here's my idea. At the end of five? Yeah, end of 5, he gets put into Carbonite, right?
Yep.
And that's like a good spot where you could put it up. Like, all right, he's like, maybe it's his dream, right? Or something like that, where he's going back. Yeah. And it's also a good lead in for, my other idea is to put it at the end of 6 because you could have it as his sort of arc leading into 7 as well. So I think somewhere around there is a good spot. It's just a weird one to put in, or you just don't put it in at all.
No, where are you up to in your order?
We're up to the second film. we didn't get that far.
Good. Well, I insist that you watch Solo.
Yeah. It's not a bad film. I still like it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't do anything crazy. So that was like, we were trying to toss up where we started, and I was like, we should do Rogue One first because that makes sense in the sort of chronological order where you'd want to, because you can't, if you watch it in release order, it's a bit weird. Like, if you want, and it's not weird, it's just like, how should we watch this? What's the definitive way to watch this series of films?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we went with.
I guess in terms of canon, your order makes sense. I'm just trying to minimize how much impact the first 3, the prequels, have on my entire experience.
Well, you watch the last 15 minutes of 1, right?
Right, yeah.
And then you just start going in.
I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm
cool.
I'm excited. We're both not going on opening day though, right? I think you have.
I'm going on opening day.
Oh, I thought you had something on.
No, not going at midnight.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because I will be partying hard. But yeah, I will be going the next day, possibly hungover, probably hungover, possibly falling asleep in the cinema. But yeah, still.
So I'm not going opening day because we've got something on.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Who the fuck does that? But we do. And then the Friday
you put that shit in your calendar.
Yeah, Friday was basically all but booked out, and so I think we're going like Saturday midday or something like that, 11 a.m.
Right.
Close enough. Whereas, like, I feel like I can survive that long. I'm not going to be playing. Like, I'm not going to be on the internet where dickheads can ruin films for you and things like that. Or
people are already trying to, like, apparently people have got leaked scripts or some shit and they're already trying to ruin stuff and whatever. So yeah, pretty interesting.
Because I remember playing. What was it? I think it might have been like Apex Legends or something like that, and people were like ruining. No, mustn't have been Apex. Apex was this year. Good. It was a multiplayer game, or it might have been. It could have been Endgame or something like that. Where people were like ruining spoilers like hours after, like just in chat, like on voice comms. It's like, fucking hell, man! Like, you can't avoid this stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm very excited next week to see that. So it should be good fun. But should we talk about video games? What's with the shades? What you got sunnies on? What's going on?
My future's so bright, I have to wear shades.
Right.
Why are you making references to things on the camera? Stop it.
Why would you wear them?
Because it's bright. It's bright out. Let's start with Rainbow Six which I just added because I forgot to add it.
Okay.
I've been playing Rainbow Six. The new operators are out, Carly and Lamai. They're of varying use. I think I talked about them already.
Yeah.
Carly's fucking amazing. So she's
the sniper alternative.
Sniper. Yeah, she's the primary sniper now. Fuck Glaz. Glaz is dead. There's no point in going Glaz. You just go Carly and fucking boom cunts. Yeah. I thought her spear made a hole through reinforced walls, but it doesn't. It's not a visible hole, which is, I guess, in some ways a good thing, right? Because otherwise she'd be sort of even more powerful than she already is. But yeah, she's it's also a little bit of a bummer because reinforced walls without someone to come help can be a massive challenge for you to get around. But yeah, her secondary weapon is fucking, it slams, like it fucking rips up. She's got the little TMP type gun. No, the CZ rather. And yeah, like that thing's as good. Like the only real problem with that gun is it kicks like a fucking mule.
Right.
And it's kind of useless if you're not hitting them in the head, but you spit out so many fucking bullets that like there's a decent chance you'll hit him in the head anyway. So yeah, I've been playing as her whenever I can, basically whenever I'm on attack. And yeah, like you fucking boom people. Like seriously, you open up a window. I was playing on fucking Favela, the Brazilian map, and she's disgusting on that map. She is disgusting on that map. You like any wall that isn't reinforced on the site is basically free. Like you cannot be near it at all. I was like punching holes through both sides of these fucking sites because their bullets like travel and they like multiple penetration. So like you shoot through one and it'll travel and punch a hole through the other side. The amount of times I've like accidentally caught a motherfucker out just because like I just wallbanged them trying to make a hole, right? And it's insta down, right? Like they go down immediately and you just adjust down a little and fucking fire and finish them off. There's also the factor that like she is like if you haven't reinforced everything on site and there are regular spots for people to fucking sit at, I'm thinking on Canal upstairs, right, when they're in the server room, if you go up, so you're on Canal, you're in server room, you're defending, you're trying to hold that position next to the hatch, right? Next to the hatch in the server room itself. There is a window and a platform, right, that used to be like everyone's favorite run out on defense. It goes to the hallway to the stairs on that top level on Red Building.
Yep.
So if you stand in that window as Carly and they haven't reinforced the fucking wall, and you just aim at where they would fucking be hiding, you boom cunts. Like every single time, it's everyone's favorite place to hide because it's got multiple layers of fucking like walls and shit. You don't even need like a drone in to tell you people are there. You just take a specky shot and like fucking seriously. I think I'm at like 2/3 of the time I've downed someone, and people fucking light up in chat. They're like, "What? Oh, what? Where's the drone?" And you're like, "No, that's where people hide, right? Like that's people are always there. It's gonna be fucking heinous in Pro League because yeah, anything that's not reinforced will basically be a death zone. These motherfuckers don't miss. These motherfuckers are doing bullet hole peeks and stuff. They're shooting like headshotting based off like the change in light and shit. Like there's no way that fucking they don't need anything. If they know where people sit on site, those people are dead, right? They'll just do it from. I haven't tried it yet, but I imagine you could do it from the roof on border as well. Like just fucking stand on border above where people usually like to hide, and providing you don't hit those fucking railings in the floor, you'll fucking rip motherfuckers up. She's crazy. Well, mine's still kind of useless. I only play quick match is the thing, right? And nobody uses utils in quick match. So
yeah, it's not ranked.
Yeah, but I've been finding new, like, more interesting places. More interesting places to put them.
Mm-hmm.
So you sort of have to, like, people aren't using a lot of utility, but like they will use some, and so you got to find the wackest places to put them. You don't put them on site; you put them just before site. So if they try to flash on entry, it drags it behind them and flashes them.
Yeah,
that's what I've been having a lot of fun doing. But like, still the amount of times people fucking flash on entry out of control, not happening. Like, just not happening. So yeah, most people will just happily run through a fucking door and see if they can outfrag someone when they're at a dramatic disadvantage. Yeah. So yeah, by and large, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun. I gotta say, Rainbow Six is the most toxic game I play. Like, by such a fucking long way. It is crazy how toxic this game is.
It's only because the PUBG voice chat's now being switched off.
Yeah, maybe so. Like, but yeah, it is bananas how fucking shitty these people are. Like, they're just turds, absolute turds. I got vote kicked because I failed to 1v4. We were on yacht, and I was not even that far off site. I was literally a room away off site. They entry. We were on the top level, like the captain's room on yacht, and yeah, like my entire team died on site while I was making sure that they didn't frag from the other direction. All that they needed to do was kill anyone, and yeah, they're like, oh, clutch or kick. So I walk in, I killed 3 of them. Because, you know, obviously they were all super low. I was Legion. His gun's fucking amazing. It's got shit tons of bullets. So I killed 3 of them. But, yeah, I didn't get all 5. So they vote kicked me. Like, also in the chat, they were being mad dickheads about it. Like, oh, you're so fucking shit. Oh. Like, in my ears while I'm trying to go through the door. Like, and there's not enough time. Right, because on quick match, it's always secure area. It's never fucking bomb or anything. So you've only got fucking, like, 10 seconds to get back on site while you're shooting 5 people. So there's not enough time to mute them all. Yeah, it was just fucking... It was so fucking shit. And it's not, like, the first time that I've had to, like, deal with that sort of shit. Like, I haven't been vote kicked for failing to clutch, but I have, like... run into like people just being mad dickheads and like ripping into one another over the chat, and like the best I can do, all I do is basically I try to like be encouraging, like instead of like when someone's like, oh, I cannot believe you fucked that up, instead I'm like, bad luck, it's only quick match, don't worry about it. We'll get it next time, that sort of stuff. That's I can't think of what else the fuck you could do to try to combat this, except to attempt to, like, yeah, I don't know, be more positive in general to try to adjust the general attitude of people. But yeah, holy shit, it is awful. Yeah, people are just cunts in that game. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. That's Rainbow Six. It's an awesome game with a shit cunt community.
Yeah. Let's keep going on shooters then. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
PUBG.
PUBG. All right.
We're back in PUBG still.
Absolutely.
I've been playing a little bit of solo still.
Oh yeah.
My solo, they've got this rating now where they're testing like rankings,
Yep.
where each player is given a ranking, and when you finish a match, you get points determined on where you placed, and also people that you've sort of killed and what their ranking is, and like it's sort of accumulating all these different numbers. And I don't think those particular numbers are swinging, like taking into effect too much. Like if you come across a player that's better than you and you kill them, then I don't think they're like massive swings. I think they're very small increments of
Yep.
giving you points. And so when you finish an actual match, you go into the PUBG Labs, it's called, and you can look at how many placement points it's put you up or down. And there's like different tiers. There's like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond sort of stuff.
Mhm.
But like it's just it's a weird ranking because it's not really taking into effect. There's no matchmaking involved in PUBG. It kind of just throws you into a game and off you go.
Yeah.
And so it's not really, it's a weird ranking system because you're not really working towards anything. It's sort of just like a weird point system that they're giving you. Like they're not incorporating that information into anything useful, into like a ranking system or anything like that.
I mean, it is actually like it's because it's not doing skill-based matchmaking. It's not using that ranking for anything, but it does have a ranking.
Yeah.
Like the points themselves directly correlate to a ranking.
Right. It's
So
like
it's
whose
not like
line is it
there
anyway?
isn't a ranking.
The points don't matter.
But it's like the reverse of Call of Duty, where they're using skill-based matchmaking to make sure you only play with people inside the smallest possible fucking window of your skill rating, right? Without giving you a fucking ranking. So everyone's upset because they have to play the sweatiest fucking games all the time, and they don't get a ranking out of it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the reverse is what PUBG is doing, where they give you the fucking rating and then they don't do anything with it. So you just like, well, whatever, I got a rating, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not like I have to play more sweaty or less sweaty. I just play my games.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter who I'm playing against. Yeah, that's what's going on there. It's like literally the reverse of Call of Duty, which is fucking weird.
But it's also weird because, like, again, they're taking into effect the other players that are in that game, and you've got no control over that. Whether or not it gives you a game with 95 other idiots that are terrible at a game, or we're playing at prime time in Australia where there's 50 other pro players playing at the same time. Like, it's not taking any of that information into effect. So it's just like randomly you get what you're given type thing, and then it's being like, well, we're gonna give you a couple extra points because you got better, you get two extra points because you did better than that guy who's in Team Liquid or something like that. It's just like a weird system that just doesn't make much sense to me, and it obviously is in a beta testing phase, but anyway, it's just like something weird that I've noticed that a lot of people have been talking about, this ranking system that just doesn't seem to matter at all for anything.
All right, so what rank you got?
It's weird. I don't actually. I think gold. I don't know, off the top of my head.
I got my ranking yesterday, and it's gold 1.
Right.
But
I think I'm above.
It's
I think I'm like 2,300, or is that a number that sounds familiar?
yeah.
I'm nearly like 2.5K or something like that. I don't know.
I think 2,500 is the cutoff for platinum. Like that's where platinum starts.
Right. Okay.
And
All
I
right.
landed.
So I'm pretty close to that. I've had like 7 games or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I got 5, and I'm at like 2450 or something.
Yeah.
But like that's like the thing is, right? Like we're playing at like 3:00 in the afternoon. We'll jump in for a couple of cheeky Arbo games where you like have like there are 40 other people in the game.
Yeah.
So
because that's all it's.
So if the pros clash, I'll wind up like placing 3rd above fucking Tiggleton or something, or like fucking Luke 12 or Lynxie or something, without having actually gotten into any combat. Like the first combat I'll get into will be fucking Athletico booming the fuck out of me, and I'll never even fucking know what happened, right? But I'll get third, and it'll be like, yeah, that was a good fucking finish. Well done. Well done, you. You are fucking top notch at this game. And I'm like, what happened? Where am I?
Driving my car and now I'm dead.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, like it doesn't really mean that much. Like, yeah, I'm gold 1, but it's not a true reflection of anything really. I was never like at that time with that many players. I would have struggled to not get in the top 10. First of all, I would have had to be first out basically to not get in the top 10. Yeah, like the people I'm playing against have got to have insane ratings as it is. So I'm just skyrocketing. Like, how the fuck did a fly get in here? What the fuck?
Yeah, so like this whole rating system's just like it's a weird thing that they put in there that I feel like it needs to mean more. That they obviously can't go down the route of making it incorporated into matchmaking, because again, then you have issues with matchmaking times and whatnot. I think I spoke about this before, but like the way that Dota did it was you would sit there and you'd wait, in Australia at least, for a match, and it could take up to 3 or 4 minutes, but it would find a pool of players, like 9 other players that were really close in terms of like their skill rating. And then it would sort of get that overall number and be like, here are your percentages of winning. And if you had like a good chance of winning, then your ranking points would only increase by a certain amount. Whereas if it was like the other team is actually rated higher than you, and it wouldn't be by a lot, but like a couple of points, then technically your percentage of winning that game would be lower. So if you did win that match, then you would get more points. And that's kind of like what they're doing here, but it's not taking into account like the people in that match are just all over the place in terms of their skill base. So
it's just elo rating.
And they're stuck because they can't do skill-based matchmaking, because then the load times will just blow up even more.
Yeah, of course. Like you said, the points made up, and everything's made up, and the points don't matter. Like, they just don't matter. Like, it's interesting. It's an interesting experiment, and I think that's what PUBG Labs is about. But absolutely no meaning to the results. So,
have you tried this new mode? Because is it live yet?
No,
it has not live.
Blue hole. There's no fucking way I'm playing it.
Yeah,
that's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever seen.
So it is basically, the way I gather, it's like a donut. Is it the circle?
Yeah.
Where the inner circle of the donut is the blue zone as well as the outer circle.
Yep.
So the safe zone would be the donut ring. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting. I don't know.
It's dumb.
It's like another way of, I don't know, like, I'd definitely be keen to check it out to see sort of how it works, and just sort of see like what the meta is, because you've got a difference in terms of your playing style. You can't have people just sitting in the circle anymore. You've actually got to move around. So whether or not that means more fights or what exactly, I don't know. But you know, it's kind of like the way I look at it is sort of like their G League for PUBG Labs. They're testing things out and seeing what sticks, and then if things don't stick, then they'll just kind of be like, all right, well, we're done with that. We'll try the next thing we're doing. And stuff that maybe does work, then they can go, all right, well, let's look at putting this in properly. As opposed to just putting something in and being like, well, this is how it works now. They're not doing the Dota approach where they're like, fuck you, now we've got buildings that you can build and go nuts.
It's I like it. I just don't like the idea of them using it to, like, I think what they did was they were like, oh, well, nobody played competitive mode when it was in labs, so we're not going to use competitive rules in regular. And it's like, well, nobody played it because you haven't fucking clearly fucking illustrated what the fuck Labs is about. Just implement competitive as the primary rule set for a little while. Just do it in one mode. Do it in first person squads or something. Because that's the fucking competitive mode, isn't it? Right? Yeah. So first person squads now plays competitive rule set. Right? Fine. Right? Don't do it in Labs. If you want to play first person squads, you're playing competitive rule set. 64 players. What is it? 3 times the fucking assault rifles. No fucking stupid fucking dumb shit on the ground. Just do that, right? That's the way you gauge whether how people feel about competitive. At the end of the day, they just have to fucking do it. But yeah, I fear that they're using Labs as an excuse to not do certain things as much as they're using it as an excuse to try things, you know? I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, we've been playing a little bit. I've been playing with you guys a little bit on squads as well.
Yeah.
You definitely see the massive difference between like my time to kill, trying to down people in that game compared to when I play with 30 ping as opposed to 180. It's a huge difference. It's very hard to get used to.
100%. It's weird watching you play, and watching you how long it takes you to kill things and how long it takes other people to kill you and stuff like that. It's odd. Yeah. Still, it's good fun playing with you.
Yeah. We've had a couple. I think we had a win the other day, right? Which was
we did.
We sort of fell into that one. I feel like.
Oh, 100%.
I don't think we did much at all. We kind of just sat in a building most of the game. But anyway, it's been good fun. I've been enjoying
one of the other. I'm just looking at the stats of that win now, and one of the other teams got 17 kills in that game.
Right. What do we get? Like 5?
6.
6. Yeah.
6. Yeah. So that was on Aaron Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I don't remember that.
I do, because I spent that entire last fight reviving everybody.
Oh, okay.
I think you went down, Drew went down, and then someone else went down, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm just reviving everybody in this game.
Yeah. So that was the game where we went to there's that compound just east of Quarry, and we just sort of hung out there and took potties at people fucking. Yeah, at anyone we could see, and then the circle sort of just kept gifting us, and then eventually we had to move. And the circle sort of ended just southeast of that warehouse, east of Quarry. So between the compound and Quarry itself, there's that warehouse, and so we had to fucking shift, but we just had a free run on that fucking hill. We were just able to go wherever the fuck we are. Yeah, there'd been fighting on that hill for about fucking 40 minutes. So whoever was up there was fresh out of fucking everything. And so, yeah, we just sort of fucking rolled on up top and got what we needed. Got the kills we needed, and that was about it. You did the least damage.
Yeah. Because I said I was reviving everybody.
Sure. But yeah, anyway, it was a fun game though. I mean, it was tense the entire time. We kept waiting. I cannot believe nobody crashed the compound. It's such a big compound, and it's so difficult for a single squad to hold. I'm so used to there being 2 squads in that compound. A bunch of one squad down in the 3-story and the two stories next to it, and the other squad over in the other houses up to the northwest of them. It's so weird that nobody crashed it, but nobody did. We were ready for them, but nobody even tried it.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, we definitely were getting... Nobody came into it, but we were getting shot at. I feel like at one stage, somebody went down to...
Yeah, you went down in the fucking house, right?
No, I didn't go down.
Didn't you?
I think it might have been Liam or Drew.
Oh. Maybe. No, Drew didn't go down. He was on the 3-story. It must have been Liam, I guess. I don't remember. Someone definitely went down. yeah, I downed them up on the hill, and they like forced them away. It turns out that those were they came second.
Right.
That team that we downed. They looped all the way through the hills between Ferry Pier and Quarry and managed to come second. And then they sort of just got circle fucked. Like they got a bit circle fucked. We had the hill as hard cover and a lot of other hard cover, and they had to cross the road. So yeah, it was a tricky one for them.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, the other game that I remember was we were on Vikendi, and we were just being absolute dickheads. We ended up, we were just sort of rolling around at one stage, and we ended up at this little set of houses. It was like 3 houses or whatever, and we had 2 cars, and this is the one where I had the spike strip. I was trying to figure out how to use the spike strip. I've never used it before.
Oh my god.
And so the way that I thought the spike strip would work was you'd hold it, and then he would like pull it out like lengthways, so like across his body, and like I'm gonna sprawl it out this way. But instead, he opens it and like throws it towards like his body or away from his body. And so I put this spike strip on this road, and it's just dead set in the middle of the road. Like nobody is running over this thing at all, because I'm like, oh, we can set up a cool trap, and you know, if a car comes up the hill, then we'll just kind of sit here and we'll pick him off. And so I throw this spike strip down, and we're sort of looking around. Nothing's happening. We're here for a couple of minutes, and we're like, let's just bail. And by that stage, Drew has like pinged off. He's gone. Drew's out of there. He ran like 300 meters up the road. And then we had 2 cars, and then I think Kleb got in one of the cars, and then you and I jumped into one of the cars. And as soon as we jumped into a car, a squad starts shooting at us. And you're driving around in circles. Kleb's trying to drive away. He runs over Mike's spike strip. Like the worst placed spike strip in the world. He manages to hit it.
That game had me so fucking salty. I was fucking tilting so fucking hard.
And then you do a U-turn, and we end up crashing back into this little set of houses.
I was just trying to get away from they had its full fucking broadside, so I just had to turn like 90 degrees, and then they were still shooting us. So I just got in cover, which happened to be the fucking buildings we were at, and it was just fucking oof. That, somehow they managed to shoot me in the back, despite them like they would have to be between you and I. And we just fucking oof. I was so grumpy.
Yeah, they snuck right up on us. And was that the game? Did you guys? I can't remember if that was the game or might have been a different one where we ended up running into a bunch of pro players again. I can't remember if that was the same game. Right? I think that was a different one, actually.
There are definitely pro players in that game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's been fun. So yeah, I definitely want to check out that other mode and see what they've got. See what else they've got coming. They put up a message about the esports league this week, but really didn't talk about it at all. I guess they're changing the format. They're sort of going to the old sort of major style that Dota 2 was doing like 3 years back, which Dota has since scrapped. But it's sort of having like 3 events, and then the the people that top or place really well in those events sort of get like an automatic invite to the next event, and then you've got to qualify.
It's sort of like the rainbow system.
Sure. Yeah.
It's quite similar.
So they've talked about that. I think the next one is in Berlin, in Europe, in April, but we don't really know what that'll entail, what the rule set's going to be. They haven't talked about the new rule set for 2020. Yeah. I feel like it might be a bit too late. I don't know if we talked about it. Like a bunch of teams have pulled out from.
Yeah. I think we mentioned it.
Yeah. So I guess Lazarus was one of the teams that pulled out.
Yeah.
They've disbanded their PUBG team.
Exited PUBG. Yeah.
Yeah. Atletico I don't think they've disbanded, but they've sort of blown up their team. It looks like a bunch of those guys are now playing for Team Liquid. Sorry, not Team Liquid. Team Immunity.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it'll all come together a little bit later, but for now, it's just that phase. I mean, it must have been tricky to stay on, like, involved with PUBG when there's no idea of what support you're supposed to get, and the support that was there in 2019 was subpar. So,
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. What else we got here that we can talk about? I don't have my list open. Subnautica. Subnautica.
You've been playing that?
Below Zero, yeah. It's the first time I've jumped into it. So this is the early access, sort of like the sequel to Subnautica. It's a game that we really liked. Was it about 2 years ago? Somewhere around then.
Something like that.
It's a crafting game where you are basically
survival game.
Yeah, survival crafting game where you're underwater.
Okay.
And you're gathering materials and trying to survive in this world that is inhabited by all these different types of underwater creatures. Some of them are friendly, some of them are not so friendly.
And importantly, a zero oxygen environment with 6 degrees of freedom. So, like it's a very alien sort of experience. You know, it's not just because it's zero oxygen and you've got a limited oxygen supply. There's a layer of tension there. There's a permanent tether to whatever source of oxygen you can get to, be it the surface or your home base, or there are a number of other ways to get oxygen throughout the game. So there's that, and the 6 degrees of freedom is both a boon and a curse because it's a boon because you're able to sort of go wherever without having to worry about fall damage or you can just go straight up if you need to, straight back to the surface and stuff like that. But it's also a curse because you can sort of get attacked from any direction. You need to be very aware that danger comes not just in front of you or behind you. It comes from above and below as well, which means it's a very tense experience,
right,
from that perspective as well. Anyway, keep going.
I was going to say, like, you kind of start off with, you've got like nothing on you, and then you can sort of craft like a knife, and then the knife can help you farm other materials, and then you can build like flippers that'll make you swim faster, and eventually you can get like air tanks, and there's different types of air tanks you can get that give you more oxygen, and then you start like building little bases in your home, and it eventually like sprawls out into this massive sort of crafting system, but within that is like this sort of overall story the game is trying to tell as well that is really interesting. And so, Subnautica was one of my favorite games of that year. I thought it was a really cool experience. I was completely hooked when I played that. And I've been keeping a close eye on Below Zero, which is taking that same concept but putting it in like a sort of a little bit different type of environment. The original Subnautica was like all ocean, basically. Like, you would look out and it was entirely ocean. And you'd be like, wow, okay, this is kind of like Waterworld. And so you just start building like underwater. Whereas this game starts off and you are on like an ice planet, and there's a station that you are walking around on the ice, and things go really bad to start off with. So really different type of contrast, whereas that first game was like, holy crap, everything you can see is just water except for like a downed spaceship, and you gotta try and figure out what the deal is with that. But this game opens up on a completely different sort of scale, and the world around you is sort of being destroyed, and so it's a different type of vibe it's got going for it. But for the most part, like, the mechanics are all completely still there. Like, it feels like Subnautica. It's still in early access. The only reason why I jumped into it now, as opposed to when I got my key, like at the start of this year or something, I feel like I've had it since March, is that I just wanted to check it out, sort of see where they're at in progress, because I keep looking like every month, like when is this game coming out? Like I'm so keen to jump in and play it. And from what I understand, they've got a lot of the story concept or the story done. Like they've nailed like 3 or 4 acts of the 5-act structure. So I just wanted to jump in and sort of see where they're at, and it seemed pretty solid from what I played so far. It's very similar style of game. The UI and HUD is exactly the same. They've made some really good like quality of life features that I feel like weren't in the original game.
Right.
Things like being able to pin materials on your HUD, or being able to pin like a crafting recipe on your HUD, so you can be like, all right, what am I going for? What am I looking for? What type of plant or creature am I trying to go and farm that will allow me to build this next thing? And so that was really handy, because it wasn't just a matter of like, oh, I'll pin this on my screen and that's what I'm going for. Like you can pin multiple things and it'll start like a list on the side. So all of a sudden now I'm like, all right, I want to build my flippers, and I want to get a bigger air tank, and I want to build some titanium. I want to go find some titanium rock. And so like you mark these things in your HUD, and then they're just there all the time. And now you know like what you can go and get. So I think like small quality of life stuff like that is really, really handy. To sort of make your experience a bit better, because it's always hard to do crafting games and be like, fuck, what did I need again? And then like always going back to the menu and scrolling through and being like, all right, so I need 2 of those, I need 1 of these things. Like just having it on the screen is just really useful. Useful piece of information to have there. So that was like one of the first things that I really noticed off the bat. I was like, oh, I don't remember this being there, but it's extremely useful. But otherwise, it seems to play pretty similarly. Like there's stuff in there that is really, really familiar. Same sort of, at the start of the game at least, the fish, like, oh yeah, I remember those fish, or these types of vines, and these types of rocks you could go grab. So I haven't seen anything yet that is like brand new that I've not seen before. But I feel like
penguins?
Sorry?
Penguins? You haven't seen the penguins?
I saw the penguins, yeah. But I didn't try and cut them up or anything. Like,
why?
Not about that.
Oh, come on.
I don't know if I'm going to keep playing or not. Like, I really want to play that game, but at the same time, I want to wait for it to be finished. So
I'm going to wait. Yeah, I jumped in back when it first hit, and then I'm like, I'm definitely going to wait until this finishes.
For me, it was running really good. Didn't have... I mean, I didn't play that long, but...
That was the biggest hurdle of Subnautica in early access was... Holy shit, that game ran like arse when it first came out. And then by the time it got to release, it ran really well, much better.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna wait it out along the same lines.
I sort of had a look into it, and they were talking about how the save game will or should convert over, like whenever they do build updates, but at the same time, like no promises.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can, once they get a definitive date that they'll say like it's coming out in March 2020 or April 2020, then I can probably start looking at a date around there when it'll be pretty close to done. I feel like the last maybe month or 2 would be a lot of bug fixing, and like they're not going to be, I don't think they'd be chucking in new features and whatnot. They've got a really good developer blog where you can actually go in and look at their bug tracking progress and where they're at with features, like specific features, and like a giant timeline of what's going on. So that sort of stuff is really handy to sort of keep track of and whatnot. But I kind of just wanted to play it because I've been really hanging out for that game for a while now. So it looks really good.
Yep.
I'm definitely keen.
Nice.
So that was Subnautica Below Zero.
Yep. Cool.
What else can we go? Dota Underlords as well.
Yeah.
Keep going about that.
Go.
Had a chance to play some duos, which is it's a new mode that was put in recently where you team up with another player and you're battling against 7 other teams of 2 people each. So there's about 16 people all up in the match. The way this game works is that you are able to give your teammate gold as well as other heroes. So, for instance, if Joab is playing and he rolls a couple of characters and he gets 2 axes and he wants to go axe, and I've rolled an axe on my side, I can buy that hero and then send him the axe, and then he can level up his 3 axes to a 2-star axe. And so it becomes a really interesting game of using like a completely different set of strategies, because when you go to battle, you are basically you're battling another player in another team, and your partner is battling the second player in that team. And when you end up finishing that battle, whoever has lost the most amount of health in that team, basically it'll be like -7 or something. Like you've done 7 damage to that player, and then the other team, it looks at what they've done, and you know, if the other player has done maybe more damage, then you end up with this situation where it sort of calculates like, all right, well, if this player here has won, but the other player in your team has lost, like how much damage did they get taken compared to what you did? And then overall, if you end up with doing more damage to the other team than what the other player did to your team, then you end up winning. At the same time, if you end up like you and I both destroy the other team, then it takes that into account as well. And so we may end up doing like a huge amount of damage. And so you can have games where you'll take like 3 damage or something like that. And then you'll have another game where you've dealt like 35 damage to the other team, like huge swings sometimes because of just how much you can dish out and how much you can sort of get. And so that sort of stuff is and so towards the end game, like you can get knocked out with like 50 health. It's just like insane. Like, all right, well, I guess we're out now. And there's some really interesting strategies with like, my board is full, and so like I'm sending units to my other team because he's got 5 spots free, and like just stuff like that. Like, can you hold on to these units for me while I'm trying to just build my army up? And there's a lot of interesting strategies involved in that game that you can't do in normal Underlords that I think is really fascinating. And just things like sending people on your teammates money so that they can get over the interest cap and things like that. Or, just having games where you feel like you've got no economy because you're constantly buying stuff to sort of feed up your partner. And that's a viable strategy. Like, if you feel like your partner can do enough damage that can sustain like both of your life, then sometimes that will work. So I've had a lot of fun playing that mode. It's really interesting. Like, at the same time, trying to determine like what your teammate is playing as well, compared to what you're playing, and then making sure like they do a really good thing with the UI. Like, it'll show you what the other your teammate needs and what they've got, and so you don't necessarily have to ask them. I mean, you can ask them like, hey, do you want this last piece of your puzzle? But sometimes you just buy it and send it across. It'll level them up. It'll save them room on their board or whatever. So yeah, they're doing some really good things with that game that I really like. Like, they just keep thinking of interesting ways to sort of change up that formula of what battle auto chess is, or whatever you want to call it. Have you had a chance to play it at all, the duos mode?
Yeah, I've played duos a couple of times. I like it. It's a really good tweak on the Underlords formula. Auto chess, the original, the mod, had duos for ages. This is a way better execution of the concept, but that's basically half the course for auto Underlords versus the mod. Like, they're very similar, and Underlords is generally just a better execution, though it is a little bit behind in some of its concepts. I like duos. I like the meta game of it, of trying to pump up your teammates and stuff. Once you get into the rhythm of just sort of feeding your teammate the right stuff, you can really outstrip the other teams, especially if they don't have the same level of communication. It really emphasizes strong communication, which is good. Yeah.
And then we've been playing a little bit of knockouts as well. We've had sort of a couple of people in there at the same time. I still think that game mode needs a little bit of tweaking, like an extra life. I think 4 is... I said this last week, I feel like, that like 4 lives is little... Like, it's a little bit... Not like, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Mainly because that first sort of life can be just hit or miss. Like, you could get a lucky roll. I feel like it takes about maybe 2 games for you to really get going. And by that stage, you could be in a bit of trouble with your health. So I feel like if they bump that life up to 5, then at least that first life can be kind of like a throwaway. But if you're still struggling at around 2 or 3 lives, then yeah, you probably have rolled the wrong the wrong combination or something like that, or you've just gotten really bad luck. Because I've had games where I've just gotten nothing, and I'm just like, well, I'm basically dead because I've had 3 straight games where I've just gotten nothing. So 1 extra life I feel like would be a bit more handy. The other thing I want to see them change is the I think it's the main game where you're fighting creeps the first 3 waves. They need to ditch that at this stage. I think that's sort of redundant at this point from like a game design standpoint. Like, you're kind of just not doing anything because you've got these Underlords now where you're like, you don't even have to put heroes on the board for most of those rounds. You can just get away with it
for the first 2. You don't
what I'd like to see them do, at least for the first 2 rounds, because initially you're supposed to fight 3 creep waves, and every creep wave you'll get an item, and whether or not you win depends on the level of item you get, but generally, like, you can't lose that first round, at least with the current Underlords they've got in the game.
No.
Whether or not that changes down the track and they put something weird in there. But yeah, I feel like what they should just do at the moment is have a draft phase and give you predetermined items. Not predetermined, but like just skip that whole 30, 40 seconds or, for each creep wave and just give you the items and like give you rerolls or whatever. Just get that bit out of the way. Get that, 2 minutes that you're supposed to spend doing those creep fights, get that done in 20 seconds and then cut the game time down by a little bit. Like, it's not going to cut down a huge amount, but it'll just make that start move a bit faster. I don't see the point of it at the moment. It definitely was a point before when the Underlords weren't in there because you needed heroes on the board. But at this stage, you can't take those Underlords off the board and they're winning by themselves anyway. So there's no real point to it that I can see from a game design perspective from what they've got in the game at the moment. Again, maybe there's something coming later on that'll change that up, but at this stage, it's like, it's useless. So I like to see that get changed.
No, I think it's a good point. I mean, especially the way items work in Underlords, they don't really, the creep waves don't really serve anything. In the other auto chests, it's sort of each creep you kill is an extra roll at an item. And so there is there's a real reason why you want to kill those creeps. But here, you're guaranteed an item, so it's sort of fucking pointless. Guaranteed an item, and for the first 2 rounds, you're guaranteed a win. So, there's not really any incentive. It's sort of, a 2-do-nothing rounds where, you sort of just sit there.
Unless you're not buying items and you're somehow getting interest out of that, but you're still not getting interest until about round 3, right? At least that's 1 gold at the end of the day. I just think it's strange. So, but still loving that game. I am probably cracking 200 hours soon. I feel like I've got to be pretty close to 200 hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, what else we got here? You got a couple of things.
Yeah. VR? Should we talk about VR?
Sure.
Let's talk about VR. Let's start off with Fisherman's Tale. Fisherman's Tale is a VR game that has won a number of awards, and I'll tell you what, I fucking get why. It is phenomenal. It's a puzzle game made by a French studio. It's sort of it's very odd. It's telling a story, but while it's telling the story, it's getting you to solve these puzzles. They're all sort of interaction-based puzzles, so you interact with the world to solve the puzzles. It'll be like reconnect these pipes, or pipe puzzles. It's not all pipe puzzles. It's just that I've only encountered one pipe.
You're a plumber, and he wears a red hat, and
you jump on these goombas.
These.
Gotta save this princess. It's genius. Yeah. So, you're solving all these puzzles. It's basically like find the pipes you need to put this pipe back together, or find a hat for this crab, stuff like that, fish related shit. And so far so I guess generic. What takes it to the next level is the fact that you play a puppet, and you play a puppet who is also a puppeteer, and so you interact with your game world, and inside your game world is a model lighthouse, and your game world is a model lighthouse, and you can interact with the model lighthouse to change things for yourself, but at a wildly different scale.
Yeah,
it is such a fucking headfuck. So for the pipe one, for example, you might see a much larger pipe in the model, or a much larger pipe in your game world. But if you it wrinkles my brain. It fucking wrinkles my brain. So you see the much larger one in your game world, so you go over to the model and you grab it out of the model, and it is the correct size. Or for the hat, you might see, the hat's way too big for the crab, so you drop it into the model, and in your game world falls like the hat, and it's the perfect size. I think I did that in the reverse. Anyway, it's very difficult to fucking elocute, but basically what it's doing is you're fucking with scale on multiple different levels, and it's such a fucking mind fuck the entire time. And so you wind up building a ship, but the ship parts you're using are like a model ship, or you're jumping into a fish's mouth, and you can see the fish swimming away on at the model, right? But when and then it starts to swim back towards the model, and you can see, if you turn around, you'll see a fucking giant fish swimming up, and it's like fucking hairy. It is, such a fucking mind fuck. It is straight up one of the best uses of virtual reality I've ever fucking encountered. It is absolutely fucking brilliant. The puzzles aren't that complex. I think it's designed for children, right? But it doesn't really matter because of the use of the medium to me. It's simplistic in its puzzle solving, which usually is a negative to me. But because it's using the medium so fucking brilliantly, and because I've never encountered this use of the medium before, it's blowing my mind. And so I'm fucking enamored with it. It's awesome. It's genuinely awesome. I totally get why people fucking love it. It was the best VR game I'd ever played. By a fucking long way. By a long way, it was the best VR game I'd ever played. I know like every other VR game, even Super Hot VR, genius, absolutely genius game, but didn't like fucking make me rethink how I interacted with the world that much.
Right.
And this one, yeah, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
It's some shit. I feel like we've finally reached a point where we're no longer just using VR as a gimmick, and we're now using VR as a central conceit for the storytelling medium itself, which I think is exactly what needed to happen. And obviously, it was eventually going to happen. It was going to come eventually. You know, like the medium itself just needed to mature a little. But yeah, I'm fucking stoked that I get to be here for that maturation. Fucking awesome. Yeah.
So there was a game that came out last month called Subnautica, and it was a puzzle game where it used perspective. So you'd like be able to pick up items, and if you picked up something close, you could sort of move it away, and it would get larger and larger, and you could like drop it into the world. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It sounds like it's sort of like it wasn't a VR game, but it's sort of playing with the same sort of ideas, I guess.
I don't know.
From what you're describing, at least.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I love the idea of fucking with perspective. I think it's such a awesome use of games, like game as a medium. The other game I played this year that did it was Superland, which was set in a sandbox, a child's sandbox, but because you were you were the size of a fucking cockroach, everything was fucking massive to you, and there are a number of puzzles you'd solve by sort of envisioning them as someone looking down at the sandbox at a regular height, and just sort of the concept of looking at it from the bigger picture is yeah, I think brilliant way to use the medium. So yeah, love Fisherman style, love Superlands. We'll check out Subliminal, I guess. Yeah, just fucking. If you've got VR, I heartily recommend the Fisherman style. Yeah.
This is on PC, or did you play on PlayStation?
I'm playing on PC. I'm all on PC. I don't have PSVR.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's that. Still on VR. Went out to Penrith, which is where you're from, isn't it?
Around there.
Yeah. Went out to Penrith. Drove all the way out there. It was fucking an hour. Took an hour to get out there. Good lord. First of all, it was the eeriest shit I've ever encountered in my entire fucking. So first of all, it was the fucking eeriest shit I've ever been through in my life, because we were driving out there and it was the smokiest day of the last couple of weeks, and it's been fucking smoky. It's been fucking smoky, Luke. But this was smokier than fucking, you had effective visibility of about fucking 200 meters, which was pretty hairy driving down the highway at 110 k's an hour. You couldn't see anything beyond, I'd say, 250. You just couldn't fucking see. So it was basically you're in a thick fog, except that fog was also hazardous to your health. And yes, that was pretty fucked. We got out there, went in. It was at the iFly skydiving, indoor skydiving arena. Right. Let me just grab iFly indoor skydiving building.
So they're leasing out space or something.
So it turns out they're actually owned by the same company that owns the indoor skydiving.
Right.
But this is next to the Penrith Panthers Leagues Club. So they're basically owned by the same people, and you go out there. Freak VR is a little room off to the side. It's got a cool little setup. You go in, strap on a vest. The first thing they get you to do is put on a haptic vest. So there's haptic feedback in their game, so that if something hits you, you actually feel it.
In your chest.
Feel it. Yep.
Yep.
And then you strap on the computer. So that, yeah, you got to wear a computer on your back. Not that heavy. I didn't find it to be all that heavy. It definitely got hot, but it wasn't heavy.
Does it sound like real life Death Stranding? You're nominatus.
Stack it up on my back. No, and then they've got they had the Vive Pro as their headset system, and yeah, so you chuck that on, put the headphones down, everything's good. Great resolution, better resolution than my regular Vive, so crisper image. And then yeah, they give you these two guns. They give you two guns as your main controllers, and it's room scale, or larger still than room scale, and it's they got us to play a what do they call it, location based exclusive variant of Arizona Sunshine. So Arizona Sunshine is a extremely popular zombie VR game. Sort of, as far as I'm aware, it sort of pioneered that the very realistic use of guns. Like you had to unload the clip and like slam a new one and cock it, and like you'd fire and all that kind of stuff. But sort of pioneered that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's hugely popular zombie game. This one, yeah, they have a 4-player version of it, and it's exclusive. They're the only ones who have it in Australia. And yeah, you go in. There were like 3 other people: Junglist, Nate, and Nate's mate Alusha. And yeah, we all chucked their headsets on, grabbed our guns, loaded up the game, and that was it. Like, we were ready to go. The pros have these cameras on the front of them that can tell you when you're about to walk into a fucking wall and shit, which is awesome. It's a really fucking killer idea. And so basically what they do is they've mapped out the gameplay area to exist within the room space, and it's not a very big room that they're using, but it uses like clever use of like elevators and like travelators and stuff like that to move you around the area without you having to like actively fucking walk everywhere. Like with you, so you'll travel maybe a kilometer throughout the course of this game, but you will stay within a room the size of my lounge room, which is super clever. I think it's fantastic use of the medium in general. They do it really well. But yeah, from there you basically just shooting zombies, like, and it's a race. You reload by hitting the thing on the back of your gun, because you don't have like 2 hands. I kind of wish you did have the other hand, to be honest. I kind of wish the reloading was a bit more manual, like it is in Arizona Sunshine regular. But yeah, I think they're trying to simplify it. The idea is, my biggest criticism of Freak VR in general was that it was way too easy. Like the haptic vest situation only came into play right at the end, when the level shut down. And it takes you back to a menu screen, but the menu screen is sort of in-game, and so there are zombies sort of walking towards you that'll attack you in the menu. And while we were waiting to like wrap everything up, I put the guns down, took the headset off and the vest off, and the zombies made it to me and started attacking me, so that I felt it in my chest. Like, that's the only time that I actually got hit by a fucking zombie throughout this entire thing. It was never, ever, ever close to difficult enough. We finished So we did 2 sessions, and we finished the second one, and I think that was like they reckoned we weren't going to finish it. They were like, "Oh, if you get far enough in," and we're like, we'll see." It was seriously never ever close to us not getting through. Like, and it was more complex, basically. So yeah, it's a it's obviously a gameplay trick that takes you from one location to another, and then you sort of stand and deliver while waves of zombies come at you. It's fucking sick, right? Like, it's really cool to do in like 4-player. You're sort of colliding with one another, or you move far enough away to like cover every quadrant. But then you got to traverse it. I showed you a video. You re-edited a video of us going through an elevator sequence, and then me jacking off an elephant. What I was actually doing there was I was trying to use the lever to make the elevator leave,
Right.
but it wouldn't leave. So I was like just fucking hitting this fucking lever as fast as I could to try and get it to leave before the others arrived, but it didn't work. So it just sort of looks like I'm jacking off an elephant, which I'm okay with, to be honest.
That's what VR is all about.
That's what VR is all about. But yeah, like you can see in that video, it's on Twitter, that those goofy moments from the outside looking in, those goofy moments when you jump from like the elevator is sort of like there's a gap between the elevator and the ground, and so instead of just walking, when you're in VR, you sort of leap. And like Alusha wasn't great with heights, so he was like nervous, and Jung was nervous, like trying to like crouch walk underneath this fucking bar and stuff. Yeah, it was really fucking clever, because yeah, it's just that's what VR is like, right? And it's progressed enough that like I remember doing another one we talked about ages ago. I can't remember what it's called, but another VR room, and it was quite cool. The graphics were sort of goofy, but as the graphics improve and get better and better, it like I remember you talking about zero latency, right? And you were walking across a beam.
Yep.
I think it was.
Yep.
Right. And
like a high-rise building.
Yeah.
Like from one to another.
Right. That's just fucking fantastic. And the fact that they've managed to like replicate that sensation inside a room the size of my lounge room is fucking phenomenal. Because it sort of just means that they can bring this anywhere. They're not restricted to finding a fucking warehouse somewhere or building a warehouse. Like, they can just sort of bring it somewhere, and you can just fucking experience this concept quite quickly and quite easily. I mean, Penrith isn't my ideal location for anything really, but it's cool for people who live in fucking Penrith. Yeah, like or in that general area. And it ultimately wasn't that difficult to get to. So yeah, like it's a killer idea. Like scaling down the idea of a VR arcade is a fucking brilliant move, in my opinion. And they've executed it quite well. So we did that. The second one we did was sort of more a Call of Duty Zombies style, all like constant waves. There wasn't like the puzzle solving aspect of Call of Duty Zombies. It was just the zombie waves. But there were like we were unlocking new guns and like upgrading our weapons and stuff like that. Yeah, that was just my biggest problem was that it was way too easy. They're talking. They weren't finished. Like the building wasn't finished, so the upstairs portion is different to like downstairs. They got the room scale stuff, and upstairs they're gonna have like standing room only arcade experiences. They were talking about doing a Beat Saber one, where you actually wear a subwoofer so that you can feel the fucking beat in your chest, which sounds fucking amazing, but it wasn't ready yet, unfortunately. I'm definitely keen to check it out when it is. But yeah, no, it was really cool. If you're in that area, it's definitely worth checking out. The amount of people who are like, I guess, going to do indoor skydiving and were just like straight up gawking at like the setup in Freak VR was huge. Like people are keen to fucking check it out. They weren't open when we were doing it, but there were a lot of helly jelly motherfuckers who wanted to. Meanwhile, I was standing there like, I want to do some fucking indoor skydiving. The first time I did indoor skydiving,
You do it in VR though. You practice now.
Right, easy.
I feel like I've seen videos where people have like done that, but they just face planted on the ground because they've actually thought they were jumping.
I want both. Right? Could you do it? Could you go and do like a skydive with the VR, like indoor skydiving with the VR things on, and then like fucking fall? I want to see it. I'm gonna talk to them. I reckon that'd be fucking amazing. Holy shit. Anyway, yeah, killer idea, good execution, like really good execution. My only complaint is that it was way too easy. Even the second one, the COD Zombies one, you actually had to go and you had limited ammo, and even after accounting for that, because the first one didn't have any limited ammo, so it was just fucking reload whenever. The second one, yeah, you had to actually conserve your shots. Even accounting for that, it was still, we're never ever close to being in trouble. We needed about 3 times the amount of zombies to actually be threatened. Why are you changing your color profile? What are you fucking doing?
Nothing.
It's very weird. Anyway, so yeah, definitely worth checking out. I have no idea what it's going to cost. Hopefully it's not too expensive. But yeah, if like as an introduction to VR, I think it's a genius idea that they should definitely roll out to places where people actually live.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, good stuff. The other game I played, still VR, is Boneworks. And remember how I was all like, Fisherman's Tale was the best VR game I've ever played?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. So I'm like, wow, fucking, this is the best VR game I've ever played on Monday about A Fisherman's Tale. And then I got Boneworks yesterday, Wednesday. And now I'm like, okay, well, the reign of A Fisherman's Tale was short-lived. Boneworks is fucking amazing. It is out of control. It would. I've never felt this way about a game before. Not in a long time. I've definitely felt this way about a game before, but not in a long time. It is crazy. The only complaint I have about it, and it is a significant one, is that you cannot save the game mid-game. There's mid-level, rather. Once you start a level, that's it. It will not save until you finish the level, which is annoying as fuck because the levels get kind of big. Apart from that, yeah, it's revolutionary shit. It is straight up revolutionary. Like nothing compares to it. It is mind warping. They are. It feels like Half-Life. It feels like when you first played Half-Life 2 and you were interacting with physics, doing physics fucking based puzzles. And you're like, oh my fucking god, this is this is it, right? And now every game does physics, like it's sort of just fucking how games work, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, yeah, whatever. No. It's all happening again. Like we're on another level. This is a VR game where you have like personal physical collision with everything. In regular VR games, right? Like you can do that thing where you're playing like your window gets smashed in a VR racing game. So you just sort of stick your head out the window and you can like continue to fucking drive while with your head out the window. Even though the window is up, right? You just clip through, right, the geometry, and it doesn't fucking matter, right? Or other games you sort of like cram your head through a wall and you can see what's on the other side and stuff like that, right? That's not possible here. They've made it so that you have a physical presence in the game world, so that you cannot collide through stuff, except for bugs. And so, but like they've done it in such a way that isn't vomit-inducing, right? Like you just sort of like you collide with the wall, and like even if you were to continue to push your head through, or push your arms through, you can see that they're not going anywhere, and it's got like vibration feedback, so like you know that like it's not going to happen and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like it just it sets its boundaries so perfectly, and you just sort of fucking have to deal with it. So like there are games like crouching underneath stuff in that zombie game, Arizona Sunshine, right? Like all four of us sort of ducked different heights when we were going under it, right? Our idea, but it didn't matter, right? We could have literally just walked straight through the fucking wall, and it wouldn't have done anything. It wouldn't have hurt us. It was just our personal interpretation. In this, like, yeah, we were able to, like, you if you don't duck low enough, you're not able to fucking go under. You have to duck more, right? It fucking sets it up, and it sticks to its set of rules, and it doesn't make you, want to fucking spew because of it. And then there's like you lift things up, and things have different weights about them. Like a heavy box takes more to lift, and you don't feel the weight, but like it's replicated in the game world, and so you lift it slower, right? And it just fucking works, right? So you wind up like slowly lifting a fucking box up, and then turning really slowly and walking, and then dumping it on the button that you need to like push or whatever, like keep held down or whatever. Like it's nuts. There's that. There's climbing. You climb by like grabbing like ledges that are like out enough, but you can also climb on other things by like just putting your forearm on top. Like you might actually climb like something. You know, if you were to try to climb a shelf, right, you might grab it and then like lift yourself up by putting, and that's how you fucking do this shit. Like, it's again, it fucking works. It works. It's as it's written on the fucking box. Like you try things, you try something out, and that it turns out that's what you're meant to do. Like I managed to climb up a fucking shelf by getting my fucking crowbar, right? And I wedged it, and then I levered myself up, right, to the top of the fucking shelf, and
like
then I was up.
Man.
Yeah, like a fucking. But like, I was able to do that. I was like hooking my way up shit. Like, it's fucking crazy. Oh my lord! Another time there was a barrel on a shelf, and I wanted to get to the top of the shelves, and so I tilted the barrel until it was like wedged between them. Like the barrel itself was nearly as tall as the shelf, but not quite. But if I pulled the barrel forward, right, because I'm heavier than the barrel, right? If I try to climb on the barrel, it'll just fall forward. But if I tilted it forward and wedged it into the shelf, then I could use it as a fucking like a ladder step, and I'm fucking climbing. This is fucking bananas, man. Like this shit shouldn't work, and it 1000% does. And it's just fucking. It's the most phenomenal shit I've ever fucking encountered. It's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah. And then
It sounds like a real life getting over it with Bennett 40, where you're in like the cauldron, like hooking yourself up walls.
There are a couple of puzzles that are 1000% just that. Like 1000%. Like I'm like, I get to like I do these like fucking crazy fucking climbs. And I'm like fucking just barely at the top, and then the other issue I have with it is sometimes jump doesn't register. It's something to do with height recognition. And sometimes when it doesn't recognize my height as well as it's supposed to, it fucks up, and then I don't jump. And so I'll get to the fucking top of this massive fucking climbing mountain. I'll finally get there, and I just got one jump left, and then I'll just fucking run off the fucking ledge. And I'm like, I can't do this. I cannot do this all again. I'm just gonna quit. I'm gonna quit, and I take my fucking headset off, and then I look at, and then I like think about it. I'm like, if I quit, I will have pissed away the last 50 minutes getting through this. I just have to fucking get it done, and then I can save the game.
You just leave it on forever.
Or just leave it on. I did take a 10-minute breather after one particular sequence. I'd spent like fucking 2 hours in there, and then I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I have to finish this, or I've wasted 2 hours. So I just went and sat down for 10 minutes and watched my wife watch Batwoman. That show is fucking awful. Oh my god, it's so bad. All of the acting in it is awful.
I've
storylines are explicitly.
I've DVR'd the Infinite Crisis stuff that's just started. I think it started this last weekend. So I think I've got
Monday.
like 3 shows DVR'd, and I feel like Batwoman might have been the first one or something.
Batman's the second one. So I go Supergirl, Batwoman. Supergirl, Batwoman,
Flash.
And then the Flash.
Yeah.
And then next year it'll be Arrow and Legends tomorrow.
Right. So I've DVR'd all of them so far.
Yeah. She's watching them all so she can be up to date on what's gonna happen. And
I don't care.
Fucking, I'm glad she is, so she can tell me what's happening. Basically, she's gonna catch me up, so I don't have to watch more. But fucking hell, man. Anyway, so there's that. There's climbing. I put a video up on my Twitter of me like solving a puzzle the wrong way just by climbing my way across it. And their official fucking position on it is that there is no wrong way to solve a puzzle. Like, if you've solved it, then you solved it the correct way. That's all that matters, in their opinion. Which I think I love. I absolutely love. It's not like they're not the first people to have that opinion, but like, fucking hell, it's rad.
Yeah,
it's a killer idea. And then like fucking you've got your gun and you like aim down sights, and like that's how you fucking shoot. You got to do the, take the clip out and put a new clip in, and then pull the thing back, and then grab it again and fire. Or with the pistol, you like drop the clip out, put a new one in, and then like pull back to slide, and then fucking fire, like all that kind of shit. That's the combat in the game, and it fucking works. You get a fucking axe, and you can like some of the shit you do. I didn't record it. I went like a little bit soft in the video because I wasn't thinking about it. But like, you can like legit, if you catch them unawares, you can run up and grab them by the top of their head and just fucking hack away at their neck. You can't chop limbs off, unfortunately, but like you just fucking, and there's just blood fucking spraying everywhere. Like, you just do heinous shit. Like, or like knock them to the ground and then sledgehammer them in the fucking head on the ground and stuff. Like, oh my lord, it's out of control. Shoot them in the fucking legs and like watch them crawl for a bit, and then like pop them in the brain to finish them off. Like, it's weird. It's weird how much detail they've gone into replicating that stuff. Because at its core, it feels like it's a a physics-based puzzle game, except there's also some fucking brutal combat in it, and all of it is flawless. Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
So whenever I do VR games, one of the first things I do is walk around the room and just pick shit up and throw it around the wall. Like, just throw it around. So how long did you spend in the first room picking stuff up? And
so the first, like, the main menu is, like, that's the main menu, is you can just walk around and pick stuff up and smash it. And I spent legitimately 25 minutes before even starting the game. Technically starting the game, I spent 25 minutes walking around, seeing what I could, like, smash and shit. And the next time I loaded it up again this morning, and I spent another 20 minutes because I've learned all this shit now. Like, I've learned how to interact with the world now, and so I'm like, I could probably get up there. And so I fucking climbed up there and, like, fucking did all that stuff instead. Like, I've gone, even further with it. It's just phenomenal, man. Like, holy shit. I don't know how long it's going to be. I just finished the 3rd level. I started on the 4th level this morning, and then you were like, "Oh, we're going to podcast at 9?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I forgot." So, no idea how long it's going to be, but I've read that it's between, like, 6 and 7 hours long. I spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours on the 3rd level yesterday, so I'd say I'm about 4 hours in, I'd say. Not accounting for me fucking out in the main menu, I'd say about 3 hours in. But yeah. No, it's amazing. It is an amazing game. And that 3rd level, I feel like there is so much more I could have done. I wrapped it up because I just wanted to get to the end of the fucking level so I could go to bed, but there's so much more I could have done. There's so much more I could have explored. There are full-blown fucking giant areas I didn't even go to. There's, like, I could have, done all this shit, I think. And, I would go down one direction, and it turns out I should have gone down another or something like that. It's fucking rad. Great music, too.
How's the door interaction?
Half-Life Alyx is gonna fucking blow them away in door interaction terms, because you just at first I'm like opening doors carefully, and like all that kind of stuff, and then eventually you just sort of fucking slam through doors. If you can't slam through a door, it's either locked from the other side or it's a fake door, a real fake door, and it opens to nothing. But yeah.
Is that the next stage of VR? You get foot sensors so you can kick things?
That'd be interesting. The way it treats your feet is like your legs is really weird, because like they've done the first, like, 2nd level is like a museum, the museum of VR, and it sort of takes you through how, you know, the evolution of VR. And it's pretty, like, it's a little bit snarky. Like, it's like it's got like a caveman, and the caveman exhibit, he like teleports around, and like if you hit the button, it'll talk through how, like, in the olden days, the other way players could move around was by a primitive teleporting system. And you're like, fuck it, okay, like it's
like 2 years ago.
Fucking Fisherman's Tale uses the teleporting system. Like, it's still going. It's still a primary way. But they're taking fucking shots. And yeah, it's got like all the different controllers and all that kind of stuff. It's hyper self-referential. You're a developer, and you're diving into this VR OS to try to fix some bugs. It's basically that's what it's all structured around. And so it's a game within an OS type thing, you know, like, yeah, it's a nested narrative type deal, but it's very fucking cool. Obviously you need a VR to play it, unfortunately. No, you're in the States, you could probably buy a fucking Index. Hey?
Yeah,
Easy.
aren't they like $1,000 or something?
Yeah, but you've got American money now, so...
Yeah, no. I don't have much American money.
Ah, the trick. The classic stitch up.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's going to be interesting to see what, like, someone like Valve can do with VR, having years of experience and a huge budget behind them. Like, what have they got in store for people? I'm keen to see what that gameplay is going to be like.
Yeah, this draws a line in the sand, in my opinion. Like, this is a very fucking clear line in the sand. And yeah, I feel like we're now hitting a new era of fucking VR. This and Fisherman's Tale, games like VR games are now using the medium in ways that I've never seen before. I do understand that there are a couple of VR games that I haven't played, like what's that VR one, the Blood and Truth?
Yeah, Blood and Truth. That was the one that had climbing and things like that in it.
Yeah. I've heard phenomenal things about that. I am wondering if maybe I'm just seeing a bunch of Blood and Truth shit and I'm just a bit late to the party, but
right.
I don't have a PSVR, so I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do about that. So
Blood and Truth for me was like the next evolution of the Time Crisis. So
right.
Like, where would Time Crisis be if it came out today? Like, oh, you can now, like it's an on rails game, but it's still a lot more interactive.
Right. Well, that's good. That's pretty cool. Yeah, cool. This is a full blown regular video game.
Puzzle game.
Full Half-Life style puzzle game. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, it's at this stage. Depending on how the rest of it plays out, it's in my top 5 games of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Last game on the list is Darksiders Genesis. So I got a code for this yesterday. It is a isometric top-down action brawler game where you play as 2 of the 4 horsemen, Strife and War. Obviously, War was in the first Darksiders game. Darksiders was a game that you really liked back in the day.
Yeah.
It might have been your game of the year, I feel like.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. Which took sort of like the Legend of Zelda concept and brought it into a more adult themed storytelling. And like made a Zelda game that we hadn't really seen in a while. And executed that really well. And since then, they've made 2 other games. They did Darksiders 2, which had Death as the main character. And then Darksiders 3, I can't remember. Did that come out at the end of last year? Or was that this year? I never actually got around to playing that one. But that one you played as Fury, the sister of Death and War. I've actually got that on my Steam list. I just never got around to checking that out. But I definitely want to get in there and have a look at it. And so this one is taking that series in sort of a different direction with this like top-down isometric, like Diablo / brawler inspired game. And you're playing as Strife for the first time as well. So he plays as more of an agile, like close quarters, but also has abilities that allows him to sort of stand back and attack people at range. Whereas War is very, he's got this giant Chaos Eater.
Yeah.
Giant blade, and he's up close and like he punches stuff. Like the thing about him opening chests in the original game was that he would punch things, and that is how he would open chests. And so yeah, you've got these two characters, and both of them are actually playable at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but during like the game that you're playing, you can switch between the two characters pretty much instantly. Both of them have separate health pools, separate ability pools. Like you can basically on the fly switch between them depending on what sort of strategy you want to choose, depending on the fight that you're in at that given time. And also, you're able to sort of manage like their health. For instance, if you're using War and his health is now halfway down, you can switch out to the other character, and then like War's health will slowly regen, and so you can try and manage those other characters that you've got, or that other character that you've got sort of in your backpack. Yeah, and just allows you to sort of play around with it in different ways. But this game is set in hell, and yeah, it's basically like a giant brawler game. It uses a lot of the same sort of combat mechanics as those original games. There's combos that you can sort of do with the heavy and light attacks. There's different abilities that you'll be able to unlock. There are a lot of puzzle elements, which is something that the Darksiders series is known for. Those Zelda-style puzzles where you have to trigger certain events within the world, and that'll eventually open up some sort of door somewhere along the way. So it's not entirely an action brawler game, but there's definitely like, they'll throw in some puzzle bits every once in a while. And it's, yeah, for the most part, like, it's a solid game. It's not anything groundbreaking. Like, it's not a full-priced AAA $100, $60 game, depending on where you're from. But it's sort of at like that $30 US mark, or I don't know what it's going for back home. I'm probably guessing 40 to 50, maybe around there somewhere, maybe even less. So you kind of know what you're going into when you get it. It's not going to be this giant sort of sprawling new experience, but it's that sort of, if you want to jump in for a Diablo / hack and slash brawler game, then that's what you're going to get. In terms of the gear and whatnot, there isn't like an in-depth gear system like a Diablo. Instead, what it uses is these cores, and enemies will drop ability orbs, and each sort of orb has a stat attached to it, or like an ability attached to it. And you grab these orbs and you put them into this giant tree that you've got. And that will allow you to unlock certain abilities or upgrade your character's stats. So for instance, it could be something as basic as increase your health pool by 5%. And it ranges upwards. You might get like a 25% chance to leave a trail of fire behind you when you dash. So that's kind of like an idea of what these different orbs will give you. And you collect an orb, and then it starts off as like a level 1 core. And as you collect more and more of these orbs from the same types of creatures that you're killing, that's when you start to level them up. And so for the most part, these orbs will have like 3 different tiers, and as you progress, they'll get stronger and stronger. And you can only socket these orbs into specific tiers in this skill tree. And if you put them in the right spots, then you get sort of like bonus attributes attached to them. You can basically put them in wherever you want, but the game is like incentivizing you to put them in a specific order. And if you do it the correct way, the game wants you to, then you start getting like bonus attributes attached to those orbs as well. And that's kind of like the way that you level up in the game. And that's probably one of my biggest issues with the game so far, is that each chapter, so the game is broken up into different chapters. You go through like a map, and there's different sort of main missions you have to accomplish on this map. There's side missions that you can go on to. And as you're killing things, you're collecting orbs, and you get to the end of the level, you get back to a hub world, and you go off on the next mission. But each mission is like, you need to be level 120, or it's recommended to be 120 to get to this next mission. or this mission here is level 160, and it sort of increments as you progress through the game. And so it becomes like this. It feels like it's padded, or it's like it wants you to grind, so you're incentivized to go back and replay those missions again to start collecting those same orbs and level up your orbs, and that gives you more bonus stats and whatnot. But at the same time, there's not enough difference in the level that you've played, because you're basically playing the exact same level. All you're going and doing is just grinding enemies over and over again and collecting more. You can collect these souls from each enemy that you down as well, which is like the game's currency that you can use to buy upgrades as well. And so it becomes this... Yeah, it's basically a grind. Which I feel like it's there to maybe pad out the game length, which at the same time I don't think is a giant problem for where I'm at. I feel like I'm about halfway through the game at the moment. I've probably put it in about maybe 8 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe 9. And so I feel like it's probably going to be like an 18-hour experience or something like that. And it's just sort of strange when they're like, oh, you should, like, we're recommending you should be this level, and it's like 30 levels above where I'm at currently. And I feel like I'm going through and doing pretty well on most of these levels. Like, I'm clearing out all the side objectives, and I'm going and collecting all the little collectibles and whatnot in each area. And for it to come back and be like, oh, actually, you're like 30 points below the recommended level, you should probably go back and replay one of those other levels. And it's like they can take like 50 minutes to go through the whole thing again to completion. And you may only get like 30 extra points to level up with in that particular case. And so I feel like they've put this leveling system in there and sort of not balanced it correctly. It doesn't feel like it flows the right way. And so it becomes this like sort of like a grind. I've had to do it a lot, but it's always in the back of my mind where I'll start up a level, and for the most part, I'm generally underleveled for every single level that I go into. But I'm just like, fuck it, I'll just do it anyway, and we'll see where I get. And then I got to a point where it opens up like this arena mode, and the arena mode is these wave-based sort of like, you know, there's like 10 waves, and we'll throw a couple of waves at enemies at you, and you're given a score, and depending on what score you get, you'll be able to unlock a bunch of different items, depending on how you ranked. And at this point of the game, it's there wasn't, I didn't know what to do anymore. Like, it was like, oh, you've unlocked the arena, you can go do that now. And I'm like, all right, well, where's the next mission? Like, what is the next mission? So I thought, I wandered around for a little bit in sort of the hub world, couldn't find it. I went back and did like a grind mission because I thought maybe I'm like too underleveled. Wasn't sure. And because the actual arena mode was, I think it was like I needed to be a specific level, and it was like 60 points above where I was at the moment. So I was like, oh, maybe I haven't leveled up enough. So I went and did another level again, spent like 50 minutes doing that, came back, was still underleveled for that particular arena, and I was like, I'll just do it, whatever. I did the arena. That took like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it was. And then I finished that, and then that triggered the next mission. And that mission was like 100 points below what the arena was. So it was just like uneven. Like the arena was telling me I needed to be level 400, but the actual mission after that was like, you need to be level 300. And so at that point, I'm like, all right, like you had this massive jump of where it wanted me to be, and then all of a sudden it's gone backwards. And the next like 3 missions after that have all been below that level, like 400. It's been like 300, 320, 360. I'm like, all right, well now I'm like way too overleveled for it, like most of this stuff now, and it's just become a giant breeze. So that's probably my only big criticism of the game so far, is that it's just got this weird, like gated recommended leveling system that feels like it's trying to pad out the game length. It just doesn't seem to fit. Like, I just don't know why it needs to be there at the moment. I guess it's just trying to make things easier for you as when you're going up against these creatures and whatnot. But at the same time, I don't understand why the game wants me to go back and replay those levels at the same time. Like, I'm not getting anything out of it. Other than you unlock new abilities, like, it's the Metroidvania Darksiders thing where you get the hook and then later on you go back, or you get the fire bombs and then, oh yeah, I remember this part in this level. I need to go back and do that and I'll get a chest out of it and whatnot. So it does that thing where you can go back and find areas that you couldn't get to before. And you can get items out of those specific areas. So, it's still got that sort of Darksiders attachment to it. And the other thing that I do not like about it, which is another big problem, the camera issues with the game is really frustrating because it is isometric. There's a lot of detail going on in the game. It's all 3D and top down, and at times you are looking, for instance, you might be in a hallway or inside of a castle or something like that, and the walls in the castle will sort of be cut away, but certain times there'll be things above the environment, maybe like a giant let's say you're going through like a castle gate, right? And the castle gate is an entirely, like, it's a solid building, and so if you're behind that castle gate, you can't see what's behind the castle gate, but they highlight your character so you can see where you are, but you can't see what's behind it. So if you're in a fight in that specific location, you can't see what you're hitting because it's being blocked by the environment. And this happens a lot where, like, there'll be things in the environment, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, here's a wall of the building you're in, and you can't see what is behind that wall, and you're like, there's creatures spawning there or something like that. I had a fight where there was a giant boss that was obscured by, like, the environment at one stage. Like, I couldn't see the boss at all, and so I had to kite it out of where it was initially standing to go to an area where I could see where the fight was happening. So that has something that's happened a bit that I've noticed. It hasn't happened a lot, but occasionally I'll be like, the environment is getting in the way of the fights in the game. I think the way that they could solve that is just by doing what they're doing to your character, which is highlighting your character a certain color so you can see through it. Just do that to the enemies so that I can see, like, or at least hide the environment or something, like make it see through as you go through it, or it's just a weird thing that they've sort of half thought about. Like, they've put in the part where you can see yourself, but then they forgot about the enemies, and that's just a strange, like, oversight. So other than that, they're the two main issues that I've got with it so far. But otherwise, like, I'm having fun with it. It's not it's not like a super challenging game. You've got your, like I said, like your button combinations, your sort of combos that you can sort of start to learn. And, when you press, and they're sort of similar to the way that Darksiders played. Like, you want to do the meteor strike, so you sort of jump and you press a trigger button, and that'll make War do his meteor strike. Or, like, Strife has a completely different set of combos that he can use as well. And so you sort of start learning all these unlocks and how the characters play, and then when they're best to be used. But for the most part, I use Strife entirely as my, like, main, because he's got these two guns that he can use, or he's got weapons, and so he can be used at range. And if I'm getting attacked by something that's really big, I can just stand back and shoot them with whatever gun attachment I got, because there are, like, a bunch of different, like, varieties of sort of, like, modifiers that you can use for these weapons. Strife's got his own where he can use different types of ammo for his weapon, and then War is able to do different types of abilities for his sword and whatnot that you can unlock. And then you get, like, different character specific abilities, like War will have his giant fist gauntlet thing that he uses to punch stuff with, and that'll allow you to get through certain puzzle areas. And then he's got the disc that he throws out. I can't remember what it's called. That he can light things on fire, and the bombs. Something like that, yeah. But there's, like, puzzly stuff where you've got to light all these things on fire, and you've got to target specific things within the environment, and that'll allow you to do that. But yeah, like I'm enjoying it. It's not a fully priced game. I don't think people should expect like too much out of it, but it seems pretty solid. It's got co-op in there as well. You can, from what I understand, it's got split screen co-op and like drop in, drop out, sort of like internet co-op. So like one person can play as War, the other one can play as Strife at the same time. But otherwise, yeah, I'm enjoying it for the most part right now. I'm interested to see sort of where it goes from here. I've probably got like another 6 levels, I feel like 7 levels by the way the story's folding out. And it seems like people have sort of enjoyed it for what it is at the moment. So yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept seeing you play it, and then I'm like, I should see if I can play using that Steam share play thing.
I think it's got that. It's popped up a couple of times about a Steam, some sort of Steam share thingy.
Maybe we should give it a punt.
But I don't know how that works.
I have no idea as well. But have a squeeze, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
But yeah, I'll probably talk about that a bit more next week once I've gotten through the rest of the game. But yeah, seems alright. I'm
cool.
Like, I definitely want to go back and play Darksiders 3 because I never got a chance to play it. I liked Darksiders 2, but not as much as 1.
Yeah.
And so I want to see what they did with 3. I've heard it's okay, but I still want to go and play it because I always liked those games. And hopefully we'll get to see a fully fledged Darksiders 4 or something. And eventually like I don't know, where do you go from there? How do you make the game where you bring them all together? Like, what does that look like? Because that was always the sort of the feeling that I got where they were going with these games.
Full Diablo.
Yeah.
All right.
Why not? Yeah, so that game's out now. Darksiders Genesis. It's a terrible name for a game. Except they spelt it not like the way the Terminator spelt it, with the Y-S.
Well, that's at least it's got that.
Yeah, ESIS. So
yeah,
that's it. All right.
Cool.
Was that all the games?
That's the games.
Nothing left?
No.
All right, we can do some news.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we got Dreams. We got some release dates, actually. Dreams is the first one we got on the list. Releasing February 2020. Have you seen any of this yet?
Not for a while. I remember when it first hit beta and everyone was making levels for it, and it seemed pretty interesting, but I haven't seen it really since then.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this one come out because I've been keeping an eye on the. They've been doing like a beta for it or an alpha where people will be making stuff, and the stuff that I've seen coming out from it looks insane. And I had a chance to play it at E3 last year or the year before?
Yeah.
And it looks bonkers from what I've seen so far. So I don't know if I'm interested to play it or just to see what other people can come up with this game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those games where what people do with it is going to be far more interesting than what I do with it. But yeah, I can't wait to see what they are doing. They're going to be really, really cool.
Yep. Next one is Predator Hunting Grounds is releasing April 2020. I still don't like the look of this game.
I know, you hate it. You're a hater. You're a mad hater. That's what I read on Twitter anyway.
It's correct.
You're a super hater. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. I saw some gameplay, I think it was last month. I don't know what it was tied to, but some sort of convention where people were playing it. And I don't know, it just doesn't look good. I just don't think it looks good at all. I'm happy to be wrong, but it just looks terrible.
I'm excited to check it out. I'm excited to see. Yeah, whether you're right or wrong. I'm definitely going to play it. Well, that's what I know that much. I'm definitely going to play it. But yeah, at this point, I'm very pessimistic.
Hmm.
I don't expect it to be good.
Right. What were
We'll
your
find out
thoughts
in
on
April.
the female predator? I saw a lot of people were upset.
Were they really? That's
Apparently,
like
like I saw people saying she's not big enough.
not big enough. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, because yeah, I haven't seen the complaints, but there was a matriarch predator in the. It's not like they invented the female predator.
Hmm.
So there was one in was it Batman vs Predator, I think.
Yep.
Or maybe Batman vs Judge Dredd vs Predator, or Judge Dredd vs Predator. One of the comic crossovers had a female predator. She was fucking badass. So it's not like they invented it. So I'm surprised. I guess maybe they're like, there's a canon.
No, I think the point was that there was canon somewhere, and that's
Yeah,
not what
right.
they look like, or something like that.
Right. Okay. Well then, I agree with them.
Hmm.
I agree with the controversy.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem big enough. That's a strong point. I hadn't even thought of it. But yeah, cool. All right.
All right.
What do you
Next
think of
up,
the female predator?
I don't care because I don't
Excellent.
care about this game at the moment.
Right.
I hope it's
You
good, but
You doubt it.
I saw some shooting in that game, and it just looks like I don't know what's happening. It looks just bad.
Hmm.
Yeah. Resident Evil 3, the remake, is releasing April 2020. So this is following off of the success of Resident Evil 2 remake, which was the reimagining. It's not like a HD update. It's like they've put it into a new engine. They've
Yeah.
changed a bunch of the mechanics, put in new quests, like redone a bunch of like the way the game functions.
Yeah.
To the point where that game is up for Game of the Year awards this year. Sorry,
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2. So really well received. I think it's one of the highest rated games of this year. It might be the highest for all I know. I feel like it's definitely up there. And this will be getting another sequel coming out early next year. Do you have much of an attachment to Resident Evil 3 at all?
No, did we talk about this last week, or was I talking about it somewhere else? I can't remember. I just don't. Yeah, I'm definitely keen on Resident Evil 2, and I did not have fond memories of Resident Evil 3, so I'm not that.
We were talking about it last week, but it was a rumor at that stage.
It was a rumor.
Yeah,
And
it
now
showed up in the
yeah,
PlayStation Store briefly.
right. Yeah. No, I'm just not that about the Resident Evil 3 as a game, but it'll be interesting. I still, like I said last week, I think I still haven't played Resident Evil 2 all the way through. Yeah, so
Yeah, I don't have it, so
yes,
I've not played
neither
it.
do I. That's my key issue with it as well. If I see it on like sale, I might pick it up, but I'm gonna pay full price for it. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Yep. Next up, we've got a new BioShock game has been announced or confirmed. 2K have a brand new studio they've created called Cloud Chamber. I guess this is something that has been rumored for quite a while now. Kotaku's done a bunch of pieces over the years talking about this game.
Right.
At one stage, 2K had an external studio developing this BioShock game who were taken off the project. And it sounds like for the last couple of years, maybe 2 years, this internal 2K studio has been working on it, or at least two studios. One based in California, the other one in Canada. And that's about all we know at the moment. It's codenamed Parkside. They're saying that it's still a couple of years away, but it sounds like they've at least been working on this for a couple of years. There's been a bunch of job listings for these two studios dating back for a number of years now. I quickly looked into it, and it looks like they're like last year they were looking for multiplayer designers on this team. They were looking for people to work on what they were calling endgame or endgame design leads. So it seems like it's going to be some sort of game as a service or live service game. How that fits into BioShock is I don't know, yet to be seen. Yeah, What do you think, new BioShock, or the direction they're probably taking this one?
I don't know. I don't like any of what you just said.
Right.
I hadn't heard any of that, but I don't like it.
Well, I don't know if
All I
that
knew
stuff's
was
being
that,
confirmed, but you can take a look at their job listings and
yeah.
sort of get an idea of
Uh,
where they're maybe heading.
all I know is from the details we've gotten so far, either we're about to find a brand new genius games writer, or this Bioshock isn't going to live up to the name. Like, the standard that they have to reach, holy fuck, it's rough.
Yeah.
That is a fucking tall ask. So good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they run into an issue as soon as they start throwing around like live service games and talking about multiplayer. That's when people start getting really worried, especially a BioShock game. BioShock 2 had the multiplayer that was outsourced by the external development team.
Yeah.
I still liked BioShock 2. I thought it had some of the best shooting in the BioShock series, or compared to one at least. But yeah, that franchise name in particular has a huge standard, like the benchmark that they've set is massive. And I think they need to do it right, and to come out and be like, if they do come out at some stage and be like, oh yeah, by the way, it's got multiplayer in it or something weird. Like if it turns out it's like a Destiny clone or something like that, and like, maybe you shouldn't call it a BioShock game. I don't know.
Why? Yeah. Why does it need to be called BioShock?
Yeah.
Oof.
So.
Big oof.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out about it at some stage. They seem to be happy to talk about it now after possibly 4 or 5 years this game's been in development for. Whereabouts, this new studio has taken off from the last studio, or if they just started from scratch. We don't really know as of yet, but I'm sure we'll find out more coming into, I don't know, next year. I don't think we'll hear about anything tomorrow for the Game Awards. So we're trying to get in front of things, but yeah, I guess we'll see. All right, next up we got Jack and Daxter sales. Something about it is going to charity. Proceeds going to charity.
Yeah, so Naughty Dog is donating all money received from limited run sales of Jack and Daxter, Jack 2, Jack 3, Jack X. Oh, that's it. And Jack X Combat Racing to charitable organizations, an array of charities: Child's Play, Able Gamers, LGBT Center of Los Angeles, Daggers, whatever the fuck that is, Surfrider Foundation, whatever the fuck that is, and Canine for Warriors. So basically, they're just donating the money they receive from the sales of their games to charities in celebration of Naughty Dog's 35th anniversary. Obviously, Jack and Daxter, one of the greatest games of all time, as any dangers will tell you. And I think it's a fucking killer idea. So in terms of getting people to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Naughty Dog, I think well done and good effort from them. I just thought I'd highlight I did a good thing. Yeah, that's about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then next up, we've got Forza Horizon 4 is getting a Battle Royale mode.
Oh, yeah. 72 car Battle Royale mode. I'm not sure if I fully understand how the fuck this works, but 72 players race against one another in an open-air arena as a circle of death slowly closes in on them. You go in head-to-head matches, I believe. Head-to-head races are initiated by a horn blast when close enough to a rival, and when the challenge is triggered, a finish line will be randomly dropped when it's accepted. A finish line is randomly dropped a distance away. The first there gets to remain in the contest, and the loser is knocked out. The winners get to upgrade to a higher level car or steal the loser's car, doing the latter only. Only if they've got a better car. Yeah, and it's whoever is the last one alive wins. Yeah, it's completely fucking insane.
Yep.
And I love it. And I love it.
So what happens when you're outside the circle though? Because I saw the trailer. I didn't watch it without sound, but there seems to be a circle that's following you as well.
There is.
Do you think you just get knocked out?
Let's have a squiz, shall we?
Because that's kind of what I imagine. Like if you're outside the circle for too long,
knocked.
You're instantly knocked out.
Yeah, I think you're instantly knocked out. I can't see.
Is there a red zone?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
To be in there.
You're right. It is the perfect addition to any battle royale is a red zone.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. Cool. Exciting.
Genius.
It's free to play, isn't it? Free update. Sorry.
Yeah. Free update.
Free update.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. One more piece of news.
Oh, okay.
It's just come through. It's breaking news, and it's not video game related.
Oh no! Is it movie related?
It is movie related.
Is it Keanu related?
It is. Warner Brothers has announced that they've got a schedule. They've slated a date for The Matrix 4, which is on May 21st, 2021, and it's currently the same date that John Wick Chapter 4 is scheduled to be released.
Fucking idiots.
Keanu Day.
I mean, Keanu Day. You got to fly back to Sydney, Luke. You got to fly back to Sydney for Keanu Day.
Yeah.
Or if they decide to, Australia it up and put it on 3 months after the rest of the world, then we'll fly over to San Fran for Keanu Day. I'll come watch it with you in San Fran. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
This is no longer called Friday. It's called Keanu Day.
It's just Keanu Day. May 21st.
You've got a film, and they're the only two films on, and you have to watch both of them.
Yep. Yeah. All screens are... And for the kids, it's Toy Story 4, because he's in Toy Story 4, right?
It's free play Toy Story,
yeah. That's fucking amazing and ridiculous.
So who moves first? Who do you think gets out of the way first?
The Matrix, surely. Surely they do not think people would rather see of Matrix 4 before they watched John Wick 4. John Wick 2, John Wick 3, and John Wick is all good, right? Like varying levels of good, but all good. The Matrix series is amazing. Sorry, John Wick is amazing. Matrix amazing. John Wick 2, great. Matrix 2, fine. John Wick 3, great. Matrix 3, oh no. Nah. I'm okay. Hey. So, yeah. I have I don't know what planet they'd be on. What are they fucking smoking if they think the people are more keen to see Matrix 4 than they are to see fucking John Wick 4? Because that's fucking crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. Yeah. What do you think?
I guess we'll...
Who's moving? Who do you think is moving?
Who do I think moves? I feel like... who makes John Wick?
Lionsgate? Lionsgate?
I feel like they would move. Only because it's the Matrix. But at the same time, how much money did the Matrix make? I have to look this up. We'll look at the... I guess the third one to see where that one landed.
Yeah, sure.
Was that Revolutions? Yes. So that one made 427 million at the box office, whereas John Wick 3 was 326 million. So if we look at the trajectory, I feel like they're going to be pretty close, box office numbers. Because John Wick Chapter 3 did not make anywhere near 300 million. I think that was maybe half of that. 171 million. Yeah.
Really?
So they John Wick Chapter 3 basically every movie they've doubled it. So unless you think that John Wick Chapter 4 is going to rake in fucking Avengers Endgame numbers, then
really?
Maybe?
Really?
What?
I just can't believe these numbers. How did it make that much money?
People like those films.
The third Matrix was dog shit.
Oh yeah, okay.
I just don't understand.
Well, to be fair, that one made 740 million. So people caught on by the second one. Second sequel.
Hell, that's fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like Warner Brothers isn't getting out of the way at anybody. Like, they've got the money to throw at marketing.
Yep.
And if anyone's going to move, it's going to be the other film. Or we just get Keanu Day. We'll see.
Fuck, I'll do Keanu Day. I mean, I'll happily do Keanu Day. Which one are you watching first?
Well, that's a tough one. Yeah, I feel like John Wick.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Maybe
you watch
sandwich.
the bad one first.
Maybe John Wick sandwich that shit. John Wick first, Matrix 4,
John Wick again.
then John Wick again. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What if?
Yep.
What if this is the plan all along, and John Wick and the Matrix, they're actually
Same
sequels?
movie,
Yeah.
the same film. Amazing. That's genius.
It turns
I love
out that
it.
John Wick was in the Matrix all along.
Yep. It's all starting to come together. Yep. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Have we got any questions?
We got some question. We got a question. 2 questions? I don't know. Ghoulies written twice, so I'll be interested to see what happens. Ghoulies writes, "Greetings, Joab and Luke. Great review on the Jedi Fallen Order, guys. And although I've only played a few hours of it, it seems to be lacking so many departments, as you mentioned. I've just bought an Oculus Rift S and found Vader Immortal Episode 1 on the store and thought I would give it a try. Wow. It's like chalk and cheese between the two, the latter getting the win. Hands down. Sure, it may only be a VR experience similar to Batman Arkham VR, but geez, I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to play Episode 2 and 3. It's so immersive, unlike JFO. Whoever did the voice acting for Vader got it spot on. I don't remember you talking about it when it came out, and maybe I missed it, but it's definitely worth a play if you haven't. Now with Jedi Fallen Order leaving you salty, cheers." No question. Ghoulies writes, oops, forgot the question. Oh, okay, we're good. Do you think that the episodic game format, Vader Immortal, Walking Dead, Doom, that are released a month or more apart are a better way of releasing games than waiting years for a complete game to come out? At least with episodic games, if you don't like the direction it's going, you can stop purchasing them. Cheers. First of all, haven't played Vader Immortal. I did see it come out. I haven't played it because it's a fucking Oculus exclusive, which is a real fucking bummer. I could revive it up to play it on my Vive, but it's something about Revive keeps fucking up. Every time I load it up, it wants to update, and then it updates. It downloads an updates, and then when I load it up again, it says, "Oh, there's a new update." And I checked, and it's just not installing the update for some reason. So
Right.
it's something that Revive is fucking up. So yeah, that's putting a real fucking pissing in my cornflakes over the Vader and Immortal stuff. But you should absolutely play Boneworks and absolutely check out Fisherman's Tale as well. As to episodic, I think episodic is perfect for VR. I think it is a genius idea for VR. Generally, I do not like episodic content. In general, I am not a fan of episodic releases because I want to play the whole game. I do not want to wait. I don't even like to wait for fucking TV series when they come out week to week. I definitely don't want to wait a fucking month to play a game.
Or not even a month. Nobody's really nailed that episodic formula. Like, obviously, Telltale were the ones that really were pushing it, but their release cycle was so sporadic and just you didn't know when the next one was coming out. It'd be like this one's coming out in 2 months, and the other one would be like 4 months later, and it's just all over the place.
Yeah, there is definitely a lack of consistency there. Hitman did it as well, and I very much preferred Hitman 2 when it returned to the full release system instead. But for VR, I think it's a really good idea because there is, provided the game has enough to go for it, there is that situation where I don't want to be playing a VR game for like 2 hours. Right? Like, I do not want to be playing a VR game for more than 2 hours, rather. Right? 2 hours is a pretty fucking good amount of time. So if I can bust through an episode in 2 hours and get the full episode experience, and then come back for the next one in a month, provided it is consistently released, then and get the experience again, then like that works for me. Generally, though, I do not want episodic content releases at all. I actually found while I was playing fucking 2 hours is definitely my max limit for a fucking VR game. I was like, when I went to sleep last night, like everything was still fucking moving. Like, when you go on a boat and then you get off the boat and you go to sleep and everything sort of still moves with the waves and stuff. That's what was happening last night. The world was still like fucking. So yeah. But yeah, no, definitely. I definitely want to play Vader Immortal. It guts me that it's. I heard the 3rd episode is the fucking best one. I heard it's fucking amazing. Episode 2 apparently, but yeah, the 3rd one's like makes it all worth it. I really want to fucking check it out. I just can't fucking get Revive to work. It's driving me bananas. I do wonder how much of my room I'd fuck up by swinging a lightsaber around. But I guess we will find out. If I can ever get Revive to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Luke? What do you think of episodic content? I know you're not the biggest fan.
Yeah. I just haven't seen it been done, executed properly. Like, I liked the idea of we can go back to like the Alan Wake stuff where they had episodic context sort of within the game. They put it on as if it was a TV show. I like that execution, like a really interesting style.
What if they were like? So what if?
Yeah.
What if they released that
every week?
Yeah,
that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Like that's like nobody's done it where they've been like, all right, we're gonna put it out on Friday. And that's a really, that's how like TV shows sort of become like this cult thing, right? And we haven't seen that happen with a game. If Remedy came out and said, we're making Alan Wake 2, and it's going to be, were they chapters? I can't remember if they were chapters or episodes. And they did like the previously on Alan Wake thing, and there's like 8 of them, and they release them every week on Friday or Thursday for the next 2 months, then that's really interesting way of storytelling. If they're like 3-hour long chapters or 2-hour long chapters or something like that, or maybe they release 2 chapters every Friday or something like that. I don't know.
Would you buy episodes separately, or would you buy the whole thing and have it released episodically? Because I guess. Because your way, the way you're pitching right now would preclude the concept of waiting for the full games coming out. Because you'd basically have to have the game fucking finished.
Yeah, for the most part.
To have this release schedule actually work. I want would it be a nominal fee, or would you buy the whole thing and just get fucking content updates? Which one would piss off people less? Would people be like, just give me the fucking game?
Yeah. I don't know.
I love the idea. I reckon with the right game, it'd be a fucking killer idea. I wonder if Quantum Break, was it?
Yeah, Quantum Break, yeah.
I wonder if that would have worked for Quantum Break, to get people into the idea of the TV series is release it weekly alongside whatever the fuck the TV
I think that
series
was where it was going, and
yeah, right.
it never came out. But yeah, like we've never had the, you know, the game that you talk about like every Friday, like to the point where I had a mute filter on Game of Thrones at one stage because I was just sick of fucking people talking about a TV show I didn't watch.
Yeah, right.
Like we don't have that, and to see how far the legs could stretch on a game where the storytelling is that good, whether it's a Remedy game or you know, something maybe Rockstar does or anything like that, would be interesting because it just hasn't been done. We've seen stuff like recently. What was it? The Supermassive. They did Until Dawn. And then they've done that new set of the Dark
Man
Trilogy.
of Medan.
Yeah, the Dark Pictures trilogy or anthology, whatever they're calling it. Man of Medan. Where they did that this year, and then next year they're bringing out apparently the next part of that sort of series. So that's still like, I think that's sort of like an episodic thing, but it's at the same time it's a year apart, right? So
that's pretty much just a sequel at that point.
But yeah, I want to see someone do the episodic thing with consistently and from week to week, because I think that would be an interesting experiment.
Yeah.
Of, did you play blah blahs this week, as opposed to did you play episode 2 of The Walking Dead, and like, right, but that was 3 months after episode 1. So you've got to be really committed to that stuff, and I think it'd be a cool experiment, but we haven't seen anyone try to do it yet.
No, true. Nice one, Ghoulies.
I'm still waiting for Half-Life episode 3. So
that's true. Yeah, we have been burned by episodes before.
Mm.
Great question. That is the podcast. We have finished.
That is podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Android, Windows Store, Spotify, YouTube. Did I say YouTube? I think I did. Under the Gap or the GA Podcast, you can rate and review the show. Please do that if you have a moment. It helps other people find it, which we greatly appreciate. If you want to send us questions, you can email us, thegapodcast@gmail.com. You can also go to our Discord page, thegapodcast.com/Discord, if you want to send us in questions. We're playing PUBG recently. Also got a new channel in there. I can't check it right now, but it's called something. What's it called?
Best Gap Moments.
Best Gap Moments.
And it's gone pretty well. There's some classics in there. People are, because we're coming up on episode 500, people are writing in their favorite moments from the history of the show. We're seeing some absolute crackers. Some good, like, I read them, and then, because I don't remember anything I talk about on this podcast, but I read these, and then I'm like instantly taken back. I'm like, oh yeah, like Von Molotov with Heath starting in 5th place and ending in 5th place.
That was wasn't it?
Absolute classic. Yeah, it's hard to pick just one of those. Although I wish we'd videoed back then. I wish we'd been like a video show back then, so that you could have seen the glazed over look we would all get when he would start to yap about fucking racing games. We'd all just be like our brains would shut down. And we'd just like sort of, And then, he'd get to the end and he'd be like, and then I made it back into 5th. And you'd be like, are you fucking kidding? Are you joking? Because I hadn't listened to the rest of it. And I'd assumed, over the course of this 40-minute story, he had somehow managed to climb. And he would always finish with, and then I managed to get back into 5th. And oh my God. It was rage-inducing.
Yeah.
Hilarious, though. Good times.
Yeah,
Good
I went
times.
back, and I don't have that episode. Well, I couldn't find the episode where I did the smash cut of. It must have been episode 100 or something like that, and I don't have that one on me.
Oh no, got it.
I don't think so. No, I've got one. I've got episode 1 to 50.
Yep.
Episode 51, and and I'm missing 51 upwards to. I don't know, 200, 197. So there's a lot there that's missing.
Damn.
I think that's because my hard drive died at some stage, and that was all I could recover. And I think some people have sent some in at some stage as well. So yeah. Anyway, I have archived all of those on our server,
Right.
so they're
Nice.
safe for the most part.
Sweet.
So yeah, you can jump into that Discord if you want to leave any memories or timestamps, and maybe I can dig them up and play them. Try and figure them out. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/GAPodcast, twitter.com/GAPodcast. You can go to our YouTube page, gapodcast.com/YouTube. If you want to watch the video, Job's taking his sunglasses off. You can also go to...
It got darker.
Not as
Your
dark as
room
in
got
my
darker.
room. It's fucking pitch black outside at the moment.
Weird.
You can also go to our website, thegapodcast.com. You can go check out all the links to the things we talked about, including we've got past episodes of the show up there. If you want to go, I don't know, check out the other 500 episodes we've done, you can see most of them. I think there's like 300 up there. Yeah. I don't know how we can archive. I don't think we want to archive the old ones, have them publicly available. That's probably a bad idea. But I've got them.
Sweet. Nice.
And I think that is it. You can find us on social media. I'm twitter.com/Luke Lawrie. You are Joby Jojo.
I am Joby
And anything you've got going up this week?
We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure when this is going up.
Secrets.
But I wrote up some stuff on Freak VR. I'm just not sure. Yeah, secrets. Secret keys.
Secrets.
Oh, Half-Life secrets. I wish.
Secrets.
Stop it. What do you got going up? Anything?
I don't have anything. No, you can go to survivor.com. We've got our end of the year awards happening right now. So yeah, you can check that out. We've got a breakdown of like different categories we've done.
Right.
So yeah, I put together my end of year list, I think last month, and we submitted that, and it's finally getting published. So end of the year, award season. Getting excited.
I'm pretty excited that for once the Game of the Year winner on Survivor.com is not going to be a game I explicitly fucking hate.
How do you know?
There's no way Steve Wright lets Death Stranding win. There is absolutely no way. It's just not
Could
going
be
to
something else. Did you like Gears 5?
I didn't hate it.
Oh, okay.
Like, previously, right, it's been like absolute garbage. It's just been like fucking cloying trash. This year.
What was last year? Wasn't it God of War or something like that?
No, it was probably like Life is Strange or some shit. I'll be like, fuck you. Fuck you. Red Dead Redemption 2 exists, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
It was God of War last year. Because I remember everyone was wrong. Yeah. Oh well.
Well, see, they were wrong.
They were wrong. It was number 2.
It's fucking even worse. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll probably talk about Game Awards next week. That is happening tomorrow. Be out by the time people hear this. Are you watching? Are you going to stay up and watch? I don't know what time it is over there when you...
Well, I don't know what time it is.
It'd be midday for you. There you
Oh,
go.
then I'll watch it, probably. Yeah.
Maybe we can reactions video, Job. They're the hits.
Oh,
These
get the
days.
hits?
Yeah.
All right. I'm about it. It's a genius idea.
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right. That is it. We'll be back next week. I think 2 more episodes left. End of the year. Maybe one more main one and then Game of the Year.
Fuck, you are optimistic, cunt.
No?
How the fuck are you going to How are we going to squeeze 2 more episodes in?
Oh, maybe it's next week. I don't know. We haven't figured it out.
We're going to strongly squeeze 2 more episodes in one secret one. Like, what the fuck are you... Like, you want 3.
Okay,
You
yeah,
fucking
I forgot
lunatic.
Secrets.
Secrets. Like, fucking hell. When would we record the Game of the Year podcast?
I'll probably take us 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
That makes sense. Just blast through fucking Christmas Day or some shit. Or do you want to do it next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
I don't know. Let's figure that out.
Like next Thursday is Star Wars Day, so that's a write-off. That is a flat-out write-off, right? Next Wednesday, I'm at a wedding.
Yep.
I
got Star Wars Day on the Saturday. I think that's a Sunday for you.
So, like, when do we even record our regular podcast next week? You fucking spanner.
Maybe Monday.
So you want? Okay, so 3 days. For 3 days from now, when we've definitely played a lot of games.
Or maybe Tuesday.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out the day difference. It's hard.
4 days from now. What the fuck is a day? What a difference a day makes. Like, what the fuck is what? There's no more podcast. We got best of the best, and that's it for the rest of this year. There's no fucking other. There's no other fucking day. It's out. Like the week is gone.
We'll see.
Oh my lord. All right.
See ya.
Bye.